In this video, I'm breaking down the best lead generation strategy for agencies in 2026. This exact strategy is based on my own experience in scaling 2 separate agencies to a 7-figure level, and I've also consulted over 50 agency owners through this exact process, and they're all successfully generating leads for their agencies. Not only generating leads, but adding thousands in MRR every single month. You see, what I found is that the agencies who are consistently landing clients aren't necessarily using more tactics. They're running one clean, congruent, and layered system. So by the end of this, you'll have the complete blueprint for generating leads and booking calls, regardless of what niche you're in or what stage your agency is at. So why do most agencies stay stuck? It's because they're all running the same hamster wheel and they think the answer is just running faster. If you're watching this video, you're probably feeling pretty exhausted trying all of these lead generation strategies and still failing to acquire new clients for your agency. I get it because I've been there. You may even be at the point where you're thinking about giving up on your agency altogether because nothing seems to be working. Well, luckily I have you here today to fix that. So here's the real underlying issue. Without the proper foundation in place that I'm getting ready to go over, the actual lead generation methods that you're using become useless. Maybe you're blasting thousands of cold emails, getting little to no calls, and even when you do finally book a call, they come nowhere close to actually moving forward on your paid services. Maybe you're cold calling, and maybe you're even staying consistent with 50 to 100 cold calls every single day. But even when you're hitting your daily KPIs, nobody seems to be showing interest. And even the few calls that you do end up booking, no one ends up buying. It becomes absolutely exhausting, trust me, I know. Maybe you're staying consistent with written content on LinkedIn, hoping to get some traction, but every single post you put out flops. And on top of that, your DM outbound efforts are being ignored. And your DM inbox between Facebook and Instagram are tons of prospects who have left you on red. Maybe you even tried meta ads and all you were left with was a few bogus leads, and you're now $1,000 poorer while Mark Zuckerberg is laughing to the bank. Nothing seems to be working no matter how hard you try. I'm here to tell you that all of these strategies could be working, and I literally see all of these strategies working all the time. It comes down to a fundamental shift, a shift that changes your mindset and forces you to look at your agency completely differently. The way you get out of that hamster wheel is by zooming out and looking at your agency entirely. More times than not, the agencies that I consult actually don't have a lead generation issue, they have a business model issue. Whether you want to accept it or not, the real hack to lead generation for an agency in 2026 is having a holistic approach on the entire business with emphasis on your offer. In my mentorship program, before we worry about any type of outreach or even paid ads, it's important that we first craft an irresistible offer to take to the marketplace. When this is done right, this literally 10x's your lead gen efforts when you're leading with a strong offer to begin with. Having a weak offer is what causes the exhaustion and failed efforts. I've gone ahead and put together a diagram here that showcases the 5-pillar framework. This is what a successful agency is going to live and breathe by. When I'm dealing with an aspiring agency owner and I'm consulting them, they're generally very hyper-focused on lead generation. This hyper-focus on lead generation is literally what's causing your lead generation efforts to not work in the first place. A successful agency consists of having a good offer, lead generation, a proper sales process in place, closing abilities, and then once getting new clients is no longer an issue, we have to worry about productizing the back end. As you probably know, there are so many different lead generation methods that you can use between paid ads, between LinkedIn, between organic content, between IG DMs, and between cold calling, between email, you name it. And if you're trying all of these strategies and none of them are working, I'm going to be the one to break the news to you, but the problem is that you probably don't have a strong offer to begin with. What's generally happening and what this exhaustion generally is that we're putting in all of this work within our lead generation efforts. We may or may not actually have a good offer to begin with, which generally is going to lead you to a position where your lead generation efforts don't work. Now, even when we do start generating leads, if we don't have a sales process in place, and then if we don't know how to close, those deals aren't going to convert anyway, and this is the hamster wheel that I'm referring to. The sooner that you can zoom out and really look at your agency through this 5-pillar framework is when your lead generation efforts will actually start paying off. So the question is once you do have an irresistible offer, how do you actually build a proper lead generation engine? Well, it's a 3-layer system that you build over time. For this, I've also gone ahead and put together a diagram. This is the 3-layer agency acquisition engine. 3 layers consist of the launching layer, the establishing layer, and the scaling layer. You'll notice at the very bottom right of the diagram, we have the goal of scaling to 7 figures. If you look at the bottom left of the diagram, we'll notice that in the beginning of an agency, when we're going from maybe 0 to 10K, in that launching layer, again, this is the most difficult part of scaling an agency. This is generally where we're struggling with some of these lower leverage strategies like cold calling, email, DMing. And at the bottom left there, you'll see that if these strategies aren't working, the solution more times than not is that we need a strong offer to actually make these methods work. When you're in this launching layer, it's very difficult because not only are you using these tough outbound methods, but the other pillars of your agency are generally lacking as well. As I had just mentioned, you may have an underdeveloped sales process and you may also be inexperienced with closing. Once we reach around 10K, the next layer is the establishing layer. At this point, your agency has some cash flow and your offer has some proof of concept. Ideally, at this point, your agency should also have some testimonials or case studies that you can start leveraging moving forward. During this stage, we want to focus on good branding, posting organic short form content, and setting up a referral program. This way, our lead generation efforts can go even further by getting more deals from the deals that we've already brought on. And then finally, we have the scaling layer. The scaling layer is where we add fuel to the fire and predictably scale the agency to a 7-figure level. At this point, we've already created our irresistible offer and we've already tested our offer in the marketplace. We have established our agency with good branding and we've collected social proof from our top performing clients. This is when we can start to think about running TikTok ads or meta ads to generate inbound leads for our agency. This layer is where the agency can rapidly 2x, 3x, or even 4x within just a couple of months due to the predictable inbound lead generation that we now have. This is when it comes time to get serious about productizing and systemizing your backend. You may have not had any issues managing maybe 5 to 15 clients, but once your agency gets to a point to where you have 50 active clients, you're now playing a completely different game. Your ability to delegate tasks is going to be absolutely crucial at this layer. So that's the entire system. If you would like to have us review your offer, you can book a consultation with us. The link is in the description below. We'll personally review your offer and get you pointed in the right direction so that those lead generation efforts can actually start paying off. Now, if you want to go deeper on all the different lead generation strategies and see exactly where each one fits, you need to watch the next video. In it, I rank every single client acquisition method for agencies in 2026 on a tier list. It will give you a complete landscape of what's working, what's not working, and where you should be focusing your time. Click the card on the next screen to watch that now.